All right. Welcome to Social Security Influencers number 11. Dante and I have been doing this show since May of 2020. I'm your host, Al Coseglia, and our next show will be February 3rd. We're going to continue this thing. We're here on a Saturday afternoon, the early bird special. Thank you to Dante Barnett from Seattle and Suitman Productions, which has been doing live and virtual shows since the pandemic, and he offers it for different types of categories. Today is for old people. Yeah, we're old.
Watch it, buddy. Watch it.
But we're funny. So sit back, enjoy the comedy of our talented lineup. We've got Lynn Dilmani from LA, Chipp Jones from DC, and Bob, say it fast, Giannini from Boston. They will make you laugh. Yeah, we're old. I'm 73, damn it. My name is Al Coseglia. Al Coseglia. It sounds like Al Caseltzer. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief I am. The weather's changed here in Texas, and it's been cold. And now everyone's pissed off because they have to put air in their tires. You know, that little light that comes on. Halloween a few days ago, and, I've always wondered if pumpkins float. And I know they do because the city next to me did a pumpkin dunk. They threw pumpkins in a swimming pool, and then they allowed children 2 to 12 years old to fetch the pumpkins. Fetch in Texas. So those people, they had a great Halloween with a waterlogged, urine-saturated pumpkin.
Oh, yuck.
Hey, SNL last weekend stole my joke. Yeah, in their cold opening, they did a joke that I've been doing for months. And my joke is, what has 4 legs and the arm of a Secret Service agent? And that would be Commander Biden. And what's funny is that he got thrown out of the House at the same time as McCarthy, Scalise, Jordan, and Emmer. That's my political humor. On a related topic, I will not be doing my Mitch McConnell impression today.
Oh.
Everyone feels sorry for him. I don't get that. All right. Do you remember when people ordered coffee and they get it black or light and sweet? You know, that was it, right? Today I'm in Starbucks and this is what I hear. Crazy, stupid order. I'd like a grande iced white mocha, sweet cream, cold foam, caramel drizzle coffee. Who orders that? That's 10 adjectives. 10 adjectives to order a coffee. And I broke the Starbucks pricing code. It's $1 per adjective. That's a $10 drink. Who drinks that? It was delicious. I had a wonderful moment last week. My grandson, for the first time, said, "I love you, Grandpa."
Hey.
He's almost 50. No, that's not possible. Well, it's possible. I would have had to have a kid at 12, and that kid would have had to have a kid at 12, and I'm not from Arkansas. I'm from Texas. I've lived in Texas 40 years. I like to think I'm a Texan, y'all. And I'll tell you why. Near my house on the corner here at a major intersection is a monument to the first train robbery in Texas, in Allen, Texas, where I live. It's not where the robbery occurred, and it's not a historical marker. It's just a monument to the first train robbery, and I like it. I'm a Texan, y'all. I have a Master of Science degree in entomology. Yeah, entomology. That's the study of insects. And people will say, what, etymology? No, etymology is the study of words and synonyms. But whether you're an entomologist or an entomologist, the synonyms are the same: geek, nerd, and unfuckable. But give me a little bit of credit. I worked on the alfalfa weevil beetle, and at least there wasn't the dung beetle. It's all about positive attitude, right? You remember Stuart Smalley?
Mhm.
He used to say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Well, my personal affirmation is at 73, I'm alive enough, I'm mobile enough, and doggone it, I don't have shit to look forward to.
Oh.
Most of the comics are young and relevant, funny. And then I see them at different events and they're showing off their body art, their tattoos. And I don't have any tattoos. So I show them my surgical scars. Colostomy, colon resection, rebuilt elbow, hip replacement, arterial port, and the iconic open heart surgery. How's that for body art? I didn't show them my circumcision scar, though. But Louis C.K. did. I have a one-of-a-kind physician. One-of-a-kind physician. She's a Jewish cardiologist and coroner. She works at the morgue part-time. Her name is Morticia Klein. Morticia Klein. She performs autopsies, bypasses, and brisses. And she has no trouble telling dead skin from foreskin. Thank goodness. Because she performed my bypass, but not my bris. Now I just found out she declared bankruptcy. How does that happen? A Jewish cardiologist? I heard she broke too many hearts. That's that for a lousy joke. All right, I've been married twice. I have 100% divorce rate. I've been on all the dating sites, and dating's hard at any age, but at 73, try it when it's almost never hard. I did that joke, and a woman screams out from the audience, "They have pills for that." And I say, well, I just read that Viagra prevents dementia. So I have a great brain and a great dick. Short king. Have you heard that expression, short king? It's a new urban dictionary for men under 5'9". Short king. That's tall to me. And there's this whole thing with women. When I was younger, women preferred men that were tall. Now, I got to say, older women, doesn't matter. They love sex. And you don't have to be tall. You just need a pulse and a couple of Viagra. And they don't care about your brain. Ben Franklin said that older women like sex so much because they don't have to worry about getting pregnant. I think I said that before him. Anyway, I've decided to fight for the rights of short people. Yeah, I'm sick of it. Sick of all the bigotry. And it starts with phrases we use every day. Short-lived, shortcoming, short-sighted, short fall, short end of the stick. You shorted me. You're one card short of a full deck. It's creating bias towards short people. And I'm sick of it. And boycott Randy Newman. That guy's a bigot. I'm Al Coseglia. Peace out. We have a great show for you. Let's hear it. Woo! All right, we're going to open up. We're going to L.A. I've seen her many times. Dat Fan and Friends. I'm looking forward to seeing her here. It's her first time on Social Security Influencers. Here she is from L.A., Lynn Dilmani.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me to join this show. It's so much fun. Are we having a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. You just can't tell because of the Botox. I'm really jazzed to be here tonight. You know, I spent a lot of money for Botox, which is poison to be injected into my face to make me look young. And this morning I went to buy something and the clerk automatically gave me the senior discount. Thank you so much for letting me know the Botox is not working. Apparently, instead of looking young, I just look surprised. I'm surprised you gave me that discount. What do I look like, the crypt keeper? Why don't you just throw that in my casket as they wheel me out of here? But, you know, I want to look young, but I do not want to be young again. I have no desire to repeat my 20s or 30s. Those were hard years, you know. But now my 40s, that was great. When I was 40, I lost 180 pounds.
Wow.
Thank you. He lives in Victorville now. You know, and Victorville is a small town, very much like the town I grew up in. I grew up in Bluefield, West by God, Virginia. And, you know, it's a little town and it's a good place to be from, not to be there. But, you know, I had to leave West Virginia because I just didn't do Southern right. You know, for one thing, I was old when I got married. I was 18. And I wasn't even pregnant. And no, I did not marry my brother. I don't have any brothers. That really limited my dating options growing up. Thank God I had cousins. You know, and out here in California, you just don't meet many people from West Virginia. And that's because most of us can't find the exit. But what do you expect from a group of people who, when they secede from the state of Virginia, the best name they can come up with is West Virginia? I mean, it did make it so much easier for the other Southerners to find us. You hit Virginia, and then you go west. We're right there next to the Walmart. And I love Walmart. I know a lot of people complain about it, but I love it because it's the only place I'm in fashion. I strut through those aisles like a runway model while I'm buying my chips and beer. And yeah, I told you I did not marry my brothers. I married an Iranian. For my redneck friends, he was Iranian. And for my really redneck friends, let's just say he was a terrorist. Oh, not that kind of terrorist. The only thing he ever blew up were the twin towers of my hopes and dreams. But he was gorgeous, and we were both very much in love with him. He was crazy, you know, and I know people, they hear Iran and they think oil, you know, big money. And unfortunately, he wasn't from that part of Iran. He was basically from the Ozarks of Iran. So basically, a hillbilly from Iran flew across the world and found a hillbilly in West Virginia, and it was love at first hoedown. But he was gorgeous, but he was crazy. I have to tell you, anybody here ever been in love with a crazy person before? Round of applause. Woo! Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? It's like parachuting without a parachute. Anybody here ever been the crazy person in the relationship before? That's a lot more fun. You got the other person's parachute. But I'll give you an example of how crazy he was. After I left him, he'd call me up. Lynn, why you leave me? Lynn, I love you. Lynn, I can't leave without you. Lynn, why do I sound like Count Dracula, Lynn? Lynn, I am Persian. You do what I tell you to do. Come back, you stupid bowman, come back. I kill you. And I have to admit, that kind of turned me on. He love me. If they're willing to kill you. when I left him, I went to St. Thomas and I stayed there for a little while. And I was very nervous about dating again, because I'd been with the same man for a long time. But one of my friends, she's like, Lynn, when we go to the bars, do not let people know you're a nurse, because I'm an emergency room nurse. Mm-hmm. She said, you tell them that you work for the Department of Tourism. I'm like, okay, got it. So I'm in this bar in St. Thomas, and this guy starts talking to me, and he's like, so pretty lady, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a very nice person who works for the Department of Tourism. He's like, really? I've been wanting to meet somebody from the Department of Tourism. I own the barge. I own the barge that goes to St. John, and I need a permit to go to St. Croix. Can you help me? How can I help you? Don't you work for the Department of Tourism? Oh, yeah. Well, you're kind of cute. What about taking EKG, do CPR? Okay, fine. I admit it. I can't help you. I'm a nurse. I admit it. I'm a nurse. You're a nurse for the Department of Tourism? I like them dumb, so that worked out. But after a little while in St. Thomas, I started thinking to myself, I'm older, out of shape, I've got low self-esteem. What can I do to make myself feel better? Oh, I got it. Let me move to LA, where everybody's young and beautiful and actors. And moving here is hard because it's very different from West Virginia. For one thing, these people in LA love to hike. In West Virginia, we do not hike. I mean, sometimes you do find us walking through the woods, but we're usually carrying a gun, looking for something to shoot. But one of my friends, she kept bugging me. She's like, come on, let's go for a hike. Finally, I'm like, okay, fine, let's go. And I'm there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. How much longer is this going to be? And she's like, Lynn, you haven't gotten out of the car yet. Okay, fine. But dating is hard here in LA. I don't know, you guys live in other parts of the world, it might be easier. In LA, it's really hard. For one thing, I don't know where to go meet people. There's this bar near my house. I heard 4 women got roofied in that bar. So I went every night for 6 weeks. I left my drink all over that bar. I even left on a little napkin with a sign that said, insert roofie here. Do I need neon? But, I am an older woman, but I do like dating younger men. It's just so much easier. We meet, we hook up. I send them home with an Xbox and they're happy. Oh, I'm kidding. I don't give them an Xbox. I give them a PlayStation 5. If they come back for seconds, I might throw in a couple of games. Yeah, but at my age now, even the younger men are eligible for AARP. So, but yeah, it's an interesting time, and you guys don't understand because you're mostly men, so life is easy for men, For women especially, I'm an older white woman, and living in LA, that means I own cats. I don't like cats. Apparently, it's a law. If you're a woman, single, you have to have them. Actually, my youngest daughter gives them to me. Every time I even look like I want to go out on a date, she brings over another cat. She's like, how many cats does it take to make mom unfuckable? Apparently only 2. I'm going to blame the cats. It's tough. I did have a friend who set me up on a blind date. And I'm living in LA, so I'm like, oh, it's got to be someone who looks like Robert Redford or, Al Pacino. And I get there, and I went there early so I could get a seat with my back against the wall because I can't suck in my back fat. But I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden in walks my date, and I see him across the room, and he looks like a combination of a cross between Danny DeVito and Shrek. Well, we had a good time. So, I kind of like this, being a cougar, but then my kids went and had kids. And then I found out, now that I'm a grandmother, I'm no longer a cougar, I'm a saber-toothed tiger. Wow. I kind of like that. That sounds even better. Dangerous. Of course, it scares the youngins. So my day job, I am a nurse. I work in the emergency room, and that's an interesting job. Basically, I get paid to poke and prod people with sharp objects. Of course, it always works better if I take their clothes off first. And that's how I got kicked out of Safeway. But we have the most interesting stuff that comes into the emergency room. I have to tell you, we had this one girl come in. She was complaining of anxiety. She's all stressed out. I work in a busy urban emergency room. So I put her in a hallway bed. A little bit later, she goes and flags down one of our EMTs and asks for some batteries. A few minutes later, I go walking by and I hear this. I said, what are you doing? In the middle of a busy emergency room hallway, she was using her vibrator. I said, what are you doing? She said, it's the only thing that relieves my stress. Really? That's the only thing that relieves your stress? I mean, have you ever heard of yoga? I hear that's relaxing. So the next girl who came in complaining of stress, I just handed her a couple of batteries and sent her on her way. Save that $500 ER visit with $10 worth of batteries. Had this other guy come in, and he had a candle stuck in his hoo-ha. I'm like, oh my goodness. Have you been dating Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast? Had this one guy come in, and he was so drunk. He's crazy, he's wasted, and I'm trying to get him situated. And he looks at me and he's like, you're so beautiful. Can I give you an orgasm? I said, probably not. Had this other guy come in, and he was on the gurney, and I'm down there. I'm trying to get his IV inserted. So I'm down trying to put a needle in his arm. And all of a sudden in my peripheral vision, I noticed that he's holding his penis to my ear. And I discovered that if a penis is held to your ear, you can hear the ocean. My name is Lynn Dilmani. Thank you guys so much. I've enjoyed playing around along with you.
All right, let's hear it for Lynn Dilmani. All right, thank you. Good job. Wonderful stuff. You mentioned senior citizen discount, and my favorite place to get a senior citizen discount is when I buy weed. That means times have really changed, that's for sure. Let's hear it again for Lynn Dilmani, LA. Thank you, Lynn. Great to see you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to the other coast, over to Washington, D.C. This is actually his third time on Social Security Influencers. We're glad he's here. He's very funny. Here he is, Chipp Jones.
Yay! Third time, so maybe this time it'll work. Is that what you're saying? Third time's a charm. So, Al, this woman that you mentioned who does autopsies, bypass, and breasts, she doesn't do them in that order, right? It's like that's not a fun date at all. I was listening to Lynn because I too, when I was younger, dated a Persian, someone from Iran, a woman who she was extremely wealthy. Her family was very wealthy, and they weren't in the oil business. They were the leading manufacturers of ice cream.
Oh.
So just think about how much money you could make selling ice cream in the desert, and that's how rich they were. So what's going on in the news? I see the Beatles have a new song out. I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but apparently it was put together using AI. So when I went on Chat GPT yesterday, it kept bitching about not getting producer credit. So I'm expecting that this AI stuff is just going to get meaner and meaner. We are headed toward the Terminator. They're just going to take over. That's the way it's going to go. But enough of that. Let's talk more about me. What can I say? I am old. I am from the baby boomer generation. That's where I am, which is a weird name for a generation. I mean, basically, it's a shout out to our parents for having unprotected sex. That's what it is. And it's weird too, because as soon as they started having us, they tried to kill us. I mean, you're of the baby boomer generation. If you blew out candles on your 3rd birthday in a smoke-filled room with an ashtray a foot away from your face. I mean, that's the baby boomer generation. You're a baby boomer if you rode in the back of a station wagon at 80 miles an hour in that backward-facing jump seat without a seatbelt going like this to get truckers to honk their horn. You are definitely a baby boomer if you did that, I mean, it was so bad. They used to run PSAs when I was a kid for our parents that say, hey, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? It's like, really? Parents don't even care where we are, It's not like my generation now. If they ran a PSA for me that said, hey, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? I, of course, would say, yeah, he's upstairs in his room. He's playing video games. And he's 30 years old, so he can take care of himself. It's like, why are you worried about him? Help me get him out of my den. That's what I need. I need my den back. But and my parents, grandparents, they were in the generation that was called the greatest generation, right? That's because they started out with the Spanish plague, then World War I, then they went to Depression and World War II. The greatest generation? Sounds like that generation sucked. I mean, and they're also the generation that put asbestos into everything. I mean, talcum powder, food, clothing, I mean, they're the ones that invented mesothelioma, it's like, which gave us mesothelioma lawyers. And even worse, it gave us mesothelioma lawyer commercials. I hate them for that. That's the worst part. But I guess I shouldn't be so angry. I mean, life for me is not so bad. I mean, I'm still alive, living in Washington, D.C. You probably can't tell from the way I'm seated, but I do have long dreadlocks. I'll show those to you. And
nice.
It's funny because when people see these, they automatically assume that I smoke and sell weed. And I just want to let you guys know I don't smoke weed. So if anybody needs anything, hit me up. I do deliver. And we're still reeling, politically because of January 6th, and all that stuff that went on. And living in Washington, it's still top of mind down here. I mean, every day we are reminded of that. In fact, my next door neighbor was down at the Capitol that day. He didn't actually attack the Capitol, but he went to the Trump rally beforehand. And I just had to tell him, I said, those Trump rallies are racist. And he said, no, they're not. He goes, I was down there and there were a lot of Black people at that Trump rally. And it stunned me for a moment, but then I thought, and I said, I kind of understand what he means. Because I mean, if I went to a Trump rally and I saw one Black person, I'd be like, man, there's a lot of black people at this Trump rally. Oh, this is crazy. So, I get it. I get it. As you can tell, I am a little left-leaning, I guess is what I'm trying to say. What I do like about doing Zoom comedy, though, is that you can't see me below the waist. Because like many African Americans, I suffer from big bones. It's compounded by the fact that I'm fat. I tried running, but I found I can only run if there's a Popeyes at the end of it. So, I ran for a week and I gained 12 pounds. So I'm no longer a runner. I guess what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a gym that's specifically tailored to fat guys. You know, it has things like a 14-foot rope climb to a bucket of chicken, you know, or every treadmill's got a full Thanksgiving dinner at the end of it, you know, or maybe they take you outside and make you actually run down the ice cream truck if you want something. I need incentive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I need incentive. That's my cross to bear. What else can I tell you about me? I'm married. I've been married for 30 years. Clap it up for my wife. She deserves it, you know. And but I did the due diligence, you know. I went on all the wedding websites to find out what the appropriate gift is for 30 years of marriage. Does anybody know what it is? Oh, it's pearl. Pearl is the appropriate gift for 30 years. But when I went on my bank website, it said back rub. Back rub is the appropriate gift for 30 years. So my wife got a lovely back rub, and I got a notice from Wells Fargo saying I was overdrawn, which pissed me off. I was overdrawn because they charged me that $10 checking fee every month, and I only had $5. So I was overdrawn $5, and then they charged me another $35 for being overdrawn. It's like, really? I couldn't pay the $10, and now you think I could pay $35 more? Are you crazy? It's like, it's stupid. But such is my life, you know. You would think I'd be rolling in the dough, you know, doing this comedy gig, right? All the comedians, they're laughing hysterically. Yeah. Yeah, the money's just rolling in from the comedy, especially the open mics, just making a ton of money, hand over fist. But I do love my son, even though he's co-opted my den. You know, his generation, it's a weird I blame myself. It's a weird generation, you know. They mishandle their money. You know what I mean? I mean, this kid has a job. He bought a $2,500 Peloton, you know, the stationary bike. You know, and I said, couldn't you just buy a $200 bike? He's like, oh, well, no, I need the stationary bike. That's what everybody's doing. And he also now spends $45 a month on a subscription for streaming video of the outdoors. Like, really? You think that's better than just buying a regular bike and riding outdoors? I don't understand it. But, you know, we did stupid stuff as children too, you know. Lawn darts. Anybody old enough to remember lawn darts? You know, yeah. We love playing that. I'm trying to think of who the genius one who thought that up for kids. Yeah, we'll take a dart, we'll make it 5 times the size, and give it to kids to play outdoors. The game ends when one kid has to go to the hospital. That's when that game ends. But I came on today. I was going to try to not be angry, Al. I was really going to try not to be angry, because I really do have a pretty good life, you know. Only a few things bug me, you know. I've been watching a lot of porn, which helps, you know, calm me down. Except, you know, the stuff now is all this amateur porn, people making their own videos. I don't know if you've seen this, but you know, the weird thing about that is that so many people are doing it. You know, if you watch porn, you are eventually going to see somebody you know making porn. For me, it was my next door neighbor. It was a little awkward because he was with my wife. You know, I mean, it was awkward. I mean, I'll tell you, I still came, but it was bittersweet. I'll tell you. But I'll tell you, I set the laptop up and I queued that video up and I just waited for her to get home. As soon as she walked in the door, I turned to her and I said, "Look at this video. Look at this video. This video is over an hour long." I said, "I can't believe you were at our neighbors over an hour and you didn't get back my cordless drill. Bitch, you were selfish. You were just selfish." I can't believe that. But I should have known my wife wasn't satisfied. I should have known, because she bought one of those back massagers from Amazon, and one of the ones that plugs into the wall, and there are nights I come home and I can tell she's using it because the lights in the house are dimming, and it sounds like she's making frozen margaritas up in our bedroom, it's like and like an idiot, I'm downstairs yelling, "Make mine no salt! Make mine no salt." But it's just because I'm not focused, I'm not focused. Oh, health issues, now that you're getting old, you get health issues, My bathroom now is turned into a pharmacy, I've just got everything in there. I've got lotion to, relax a stiff muscle. I've got pills to stiffen a relaxed muscle. I mean, I've got everything in there. I mean, it's like I have medicine in there in both lotion, tablet, and gel form, and it's weird because I don't even remember what the medicine does, so it's like it's not doing me any good. I need help. What I really need is I need my grocery store to pitch in. They need to bundle stuff together, help me out. Like if I buy a pound of hard cheese, it should come with a stool softener because I'm going to need that later. If I buy the biggest box of Oreo cookies, it should come with some insulin. I mean, I'm just going to need it later. I mean, it's guaranteed. If I'm in the aisle buying condoms, what am I talking about? I'm not buying condoms. We're at that age. If my wife gets pregnant, the child is not mine, and we're going to have a second Christmas. That's all I can tell you. It's like, this child is God's, but, I should actually just say, I got a pretty good life, I'm above ground, as they say, any day above ground, is a good one. So there are a lot of people that were smarter than I am that are dead. And I often go to the graveyards and dance on their graves because I hated that guy, But, I don't mean to be rude and mean, but that's just the way I am. It makes other people look nice. So that's my job. I don't know. I really forgotten how much time I was supposed to do, and I don't know what time I'm at, Al. So
you got 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
Got 2 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
What can I do for 2 minutes? Besides sex. Let's see. And usually I can't even make the 2 minutes on sex. So I mean, the problem for me is that women have always told me that males are jealous of women because they can have multiple orgasms. And really, is that true? I mean, is that a point of jealousy? I mean, do women really want their men to have multiple orgasms? I mean, because when a woman has an orgasm, it's like she opens up to nature, to life itself. It's like, I mean, it's a high note. It's beautiful. I mean, when I orgasm, it's more like, I mean, it looks more like I'm throwing a couch into a dumpster than anything. And I'm not sure that a woman wants to see that over and over and over again. So my wife is no help there. I mean, I remember this past Father's Day, because women know how to push your buttons. This past Father's Day, I woke up all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. My wife's like, what's going on? I said, well, it's Father's Day. And, well, I was kind of hoping for a Father's Day blowjob. And she's like, what? I said, it's my day. I should be able to get a Father's Day blowjob. She's like, that's disgusting. It's my day. She said, well, okay. I'll go tell the kids, but I think they already got you a tie. No. Okay. I think that's been about 2 minutes. I thank you guys for listening.
All right, let's hear it for him.
I'm Chipp. There's my social media over here. And thanks for listening.
All right, let's hear it for him. Chip Jones, always funny. I think Chip, when you're angry, you're funnier. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife also laughs when I'm angry too. So.
Is that during the 2 minutes?
That's right. She's like, go to
All
your
right,
room
let's
now.
hear it for
Go
him.
to your
Chip
room.
Jones, Washington, D.C. Very funny, Chip. Love it. It's good to see you again.
Good
All
to
right,
see you too, sir.
we're going right up the coast to Boston, and here he is. I met him in person. You know,
Oh,
we don't
cool.
get to meet people in person. I met him in person. I was in Boston. He came to a show. He does the oldie as regular, and here he is today on Social Security Influencers. Bob, say it fast, Giannini.
Thank you, Al. You know, Al, before I came on today, I know I wanted to do a little research. And did you realize that the word Dallas, I know because I know you're in Dallas, that the word Dallas is actually a Latin word that loosely translates to fuck Fort Worth? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, huh? I'm from Boston, like Al said. I also have a house on Cape Cod. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Cape Cod at all.
Mhm.
But I was in Boston the other day, and I ran into a guy, and he said he was from the Cape. And I go, "Yeah, where you from?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm from Katuitt, which is right about here." He goes, "You know the Cape, right? Katuitt, Hyannis, Provincetown down here." And I go, "Yeah." I go, "That's interesting." I go, "So whenever you tell people where you're from, do you always put out a body part?" Oh, wow. Says, "Man, thank God you said you weren't from Florida." It's like, "Oh, you're from Florida? Oh, yeah, what part? Oh, let me show you." I would need a big zoom on that one if I were, yeah. Like Chipp had mentioned that the new Beatles song. I didn't realize that it was made with AI. So of course, the first thing I think of was the Beatles were with Allen Iverson. You guys know the Rolling Stones. Speaking of that era, the Rolling Stones just released a new record. Did you hear about that? Yeah.
Yep.
Rolling Stones. Anyone want to make a guess on how old Mick Jagger is?
83.
He's 137. The Rolling Stones' last album before this one was an album called Lonesome and Blue. That was the name of the album, which I found fascinating, considering that these guys made an album of songs all about their balls. I don't know. I just made that shit up. I don't know. Well, this is nice. I'm glad to be here. I had a rough week. The other day, I got in big trouble because I got naked on a massage chair at the mall. So I got in big trouble there. But it's good to be on a Social Security. Not quite there yet, but I did get my first AARP magazine in the mail the other day. And the good news is that I am officially at the age where it is okay to have sex while wearing your reading glasses. So that's a good thing. But as we get older, we're trying to get in shape. I did join a gym. I like to listen to music when I go to the gym. I'm not sure if you guys do. I have like the earpods. But the other day I went to the gym, right? And I couldn't find my earpods. So I ended up bringing an old Walkman. Those old CD Walkmans. Remember those things? I go to the gym. I give a CD Walkman, right? And this young guy comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, man." He goes, "Old school." He goes, "Is that like a CD Walkman?" I go, "Yeah." I goes, "Dude, how do you work out with a CD Walkman?" And I go, "Dude, this is nothing, man. I used to work out wearing a turntable." Try going on a treadmill and making that fucker not skip. You never go to the gym and like people like to talk to you at the gym? I'm at the gym, right? And this guy goes up to me and he goes, "Hey, man, were you like a pitcher in baseball?" I go, "Well, I used to be." "Why?" He goes, "Was that exercise you're doing is for your rotator cuff, which kind of handles the range of motion in your, in your shoulder." I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I go, "Are you like some sort of personal trainer?" He goes, no, I was just, I was just watching you work out. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I say, hey man, can you do me a big favor? He goes, sure. I go, can you fuck off? Oh, take your Richard Simmons looking ass. So I go to the trouble. Couldn't think of his name, Richard Simmons. I had a brain fart there. Anyway, we are getting ready for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is coming up pretty soon. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm getting a little nervous because I am going to my mother's. And my mother is at a very advanced age. And I think that she's losing her eyesight. Because last year I walked in the house and she goes, Bobby, can you help me put the turkey in the oven? And I was like, Ma, that's your dog.
Oh.
Like, when you hear it barking when you're trying to jam the stuffing up his ass. So just thought of that one too. Just making shit up as we go along. I don't know. The you know what I saw the other day? I saw a canine unit. And I saw a police dog in the neighborhood. You ever see a police dog and a canine unit when they're out? You ever notice like all the other dogs are in the neighborhood, and all the other dogs are like, holy shit, it's the cops. And they see a police dog, like you, no more sniffing asses, okay, no humping legs, and God forbid, no one stay away from all fire hydrants. Oh boy, that's a one and doneer. And I'm a music guy, and we were talking about the Beatles. And I had lunch the other day with a buddy of mine. He came down from Maine. He came down from Maine with his son. His son's in high school, and his son said after high school that he wants to be a rapper, that he likes rap music. And I thought to myself, I think this is a great idea. Because when I think of hardcore rappers and where they're from, yeah, I think of Maine. I mean, if you're a rapper from Maine, I mean, what are you going to call yourself? LL Bean J? Mama said, try this on. I'm not much of a rap. I mean, I'm not really into rap music, but they just, you guys, on the big news was about Tupac Shakur. You guys hear about this? They finally arrested the guy who murdered him many, many moons ago. But I remember back when that happened, people kept talking to me and said, man, did you hear about Tupac? And whenever they were talking about Tupac, I was they were talking about how many cigarettes they smoked, Tupac. But my buddy came down from Maine because we're old, rockers. And he goes, dude, I just watched this movie called Bohemian Rhapsody. He goes, did you ever see that? And I go, yeah. And he goes, it's about Freddie Mercury. And about Queen. And he goes, dude, I didn't realize that Freddie Mercury was gay. Didn't? I mean, he was in a band called Queen. That didn't give it away. Does anybody here know who the lead singer is now for Queen?
Elton John.
Who?
I said Elton John.
That's England's longest serving queen. Now that the queen is dead, Elton John is England's longest serving queen. Did you guys know that? 72 years. Now the new lead singer for Queen is a guy called Adam Lambert. He used to be on American Idol. It's as if the band got together after Freddie Mercury died and said, listen, we need to get somebody who's even more gay. Yeah. But it's kind of nice to see all they were talking about the Stones and the Beatles. Like all these old time bands are all getting together and they're all on tour. It's kind of neat. Do you guys know that the Monkees reunited in Las Vegas? They had a show, the Monkees. Remember that? Yeah, I mean, these guys are so old now, they're just going to stand on stage and throw their shit at you, The Monkees. I was driving in Providence the other day and I saw a billboard and it said Twin River Casino presents Rick Springfield. And I was like, wow. So I looked at this big billboard and I see, wow, Rick Springfield. Rick Springfield's had a lot of plastic surgery, man. Actually kind of looks like Jesse's girl now. I messed that one up. I think I messed it up. Yeah. Hey, do you guys know that Michael Jackson has a son named Blanket? And Michael Jackson's son Blanket just started his own band. Yeah, it's a cover band. Come on, that's a good freaking joke. Come on. Guess the Who are going out on tour. Remember the Who?
Mhm.
My buddy goes, dude, you want to go see the Who? I go, dude, why would I want to go see the Who? I mean, think about it. Pete Townshend's 80, Roger Daltrey's 80, Keith Moon is dead, John Entwistle's dead. It's like, dude, you're not going to go see the Who. You're going to go see who's left. Go see that. Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne's talking about moving back to England,
Mm.
that America has become too violent. Yeah, this is, of course, coming from a man that once bit the head off of a bat. Ozzy Osbourne. Keep losing my time. That's but I like going to concerts. I'm a big band guy, and I just heard that Def Leppard is going out on tour with Poison. They're going to tour together, which I don't think it's such a good idea. I would think during a pandemic that Poison would go on tour with The Cure. Yeah. I just saw a show. It's called the 45 Cent Tour. It's a tour that has 50 Cent with Nickelback. Al, my math is right on that. I know you're from Texas. Yeah. Is some kind of tours I like to see, you know, like how about the Bud Light tour, you know, with RuPaul and Kid Rock? That'd be a good show. Or Bush with Hole, Lady Gaga, the Goo Goo Dolls. That'd be a good show. MC Hammer, Nine Inch Nails. How about that kind of show, huh? Berry, Chuck Berry. How about Marvin Gaye with George Strait? You know, they can call it the Gay and Straight tour. Or Marvin Gaye with Charlie Pride. That'd be a nice gay pride tour. You know, I went to a Motown show recently. It was a big Motown, and this guy did the great impression of Marvin Gaye, right? I was like, he did a wonderful job, you know. But I was thinking, I went up to the guy after. I says, you know what really would make this a great thing, a great Marvin Gaye impression, is if your father came out and shot you.
Mm.
You have to know about Marvin Gaye to know about that. We got a lot of sports going on around here. Bruins are playing pretty well. If you guys watch sports fans at all, Bruins. I was watching a Bruins game the other day, and they were playing Nashville. And so there's a hockey team in Nashville. And then the public address announcer in Nashville goes, come on, Nashville, can we get a yeehaw? And 15,000 people went, yeehaw. So I was thinking, man, imagine if they did this in Boston. You know, it's like, hey, Boston, can we get a yeehaw? You're like 15,000 people going, fuck you. Drop the puck, kid. No, the Celtics just signed a guy, Kristaps Porzingis. He's 7'3" tall. Plays for the Celtics now. Yeah, it's like, imagine trying to interview this guy in the locker room after a shower. You know, so I'm gonna do a quick impression. Okay, this is a basketball sports writer trying to interview Kristaps Porzingis, who walked out of the shower stark naked. It stops. You guys have a lot of problems with defense. I don't have a microphone, so I have a channel check, my channel clicker instead. What we use in Boston to interview basketball players. Patriots stink this year. Patriots suck. Big news and coming out of Foxborough, the phone number for the ticket box office has been changed. There's now a suicide hotline. That's some good news. I took my little niece to a zoo the other day. It's called the Stone Zoo. I took her there. Have you guys ever been to a zoo lately? Yeah, I'm going to do a quick impression, okay? This is every single animal at the Stone Zoo. Every animal, okay? Here we go. Speaking of zoos, big news coming from Hong Kong. There's Al's already laughing. There's a true story over in Hong Kong for the first time in 10 years. Okay, 2 pandas mated naturally. Okay, first time in 10 years. Big news over there in Hong Kong. In fact, it was such big news that it was on the front page of the Hong Kong newspaper. They had a picture of 2 pandas having sex, and they blurred out their faces. Genitals okay, faces, we're blurring that up. I found that very interesting. All right, I don't have much time left. Let's see.
1 minute.
The other day I was at a bar and I'm having a drink, right? And this guy keeps looking at me across the bar, like off and on. Every time I look over, he would look at me, right? Then I would go talk to my friend and he would go talk to his friend. This happened about 30 minutes. So he just kept looking at me. So finally he gets up and he walks over to me with his buddy. He goes, and he looks over to me and he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry that I was staring at you all this time, but he goes, you reminded me of my nephew Dave." I go, "Okay." He goes, "And I hate that son of a bitch." And then he laughs. All right, that's it.
All right, let's hear it for him. Bob Giannini. Good stuff, Bob. Good to see you all. What a great show. Funny.
Yeah.
We're old, but we're damn funny, I'd say. So let's hear it for Lynn Dilmani from LA, Chipp Jones from Washington, D.C., and Bob Giannini from Boston, Massachusetts. And thank you to Dante Barnett, Suitman Productions, for putting the show on. We're going to continue this thing as long as we can. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
Hey,
Thank
see you
you.
guys in
Thanks.
February. We'll have another show in February. And for everybody tuning in, we got Autastic Artists tomorrow at 7 a.m. with guest Evan Vest out of the Savage Henry Club in Eureka, California. So if you're not doing nothing tomorrow, 7 a.m., we got another Autastic Artist. And yes, I'm browner than hell. I spent 10 days in Hawaii. Aloha, motherfuckers. We got some stand-up from Hawaii I'll be uploading on the Suitman page. We did some poetry as well when we were there. So, hey, thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend and give it up for Al and all the old fuckers.
Thank you.